Yeah, we're back. Yay, huzzah. Um, yeah, um, Yashiro, wakes up, at his early hour, to get his day started, with his routine. He's gotta, get ready for his, um, shift as, whatever his current, um, rank is in the watch, but he has supervisory responsibilities. So, he's gotta be there bright and early with donuts for the crew before they start their rounds. So he goes into the bathroom and uh, grooms himself in the mirror. Remembers the night where he was trying to scamper up through the skylight, to get away from the invaders that turned out to be friendly.
Yeah.
Um, and when he leaves, he locks his brand new door, because that had to be replaced also on short notice by a very fantastic group of carpenters.
Okay.
Um, and on the way over to um, his office, he stops at his favorite baker, uh, and gets a baker's dozen of the fried dough circles,
Fried
fried dough
dough
rings,
circles.
and
Okay.
of course the the extra the 13th one is for the walk there, because I don't want to have my first cup of terrible um, watch house coffee on an empty stomach, because
Mhm.
it'll eat right through if there's nothing in there to catch it.
Okay.
And yeah, hopefully there are no incidents on the way. Um, I was actually trying to figure out on the map up here how I would get to work every day, because it like geographically it looked close, but I thought that this one bridge was just a chimney on the house below it, so I wasn't sure that I thought I might have to walk around the entire city to get to work.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, I'm sure that there's like a ferry if there wasn't a bridge, so I think
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Hopefully the ferry would be made of something traditional like wood.
Yeah,
Um,
wood instead of
Not one of the
corpses.
less traditional ones I've seen. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think I'll ever be able to take a ferry after that night. Um,
Mm.
It'll be like forever flashbacks.
Well, I'm
Uh,
hopefully you'll be able to like get on the water maybe one day, but
yeah, we'll
you
see.
think like you're afraid to even go swimming because you might get confused as part of materials to make a boat.
Yeah, yeah, or like I know that Egon opened up that hole in the earth and like sucked a bunch of corpses down there. So if I ever end up in the water, I don't know if one of them is gonna reach up and grab me and pull me down. Uh, so
That's terrifying.
yeah, well, this is the life. Uh, this is what happens in Yashir's brain while he's eating a donut on his way to work.
That's
Like,
what the sugar high does to you.
yeah,
Our people don't do well with sugar and caffeine.
Apparently
yeah.
not.
Oh man. Of
That's
course, we haven't
funny.
figured that out yet.
That's true. That's true.
Um, so I am actually on my way to work. I'm trying to think of a way to tell my second in command Smithers that I will be unavailable for a couple of days,
Okay.
because I don't know how long it's gonna take us to um, you know do what Father Dimash wishes us to
Yeah.
do in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, and you don't even know where you're supposed to go. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're going to have to
yeah.
start
Hopefully it's close.
investigating, figure
Oh
out where it might be. Talk
man, if only.
and plus somebody has to talk to Hellstrom because nobody's talked to him yet.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be my job since I work with him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what the unspoken agreement must have been between the group of you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what dawns on me as I'm pouring my first cup of coffee. I'm like, oh, I have to go tell Hellstrom what Father Dumas wants us to do.
Surprise.
Well, we certainly weren't going to get Brett Brown to tell Hellstrom.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Oh man. So let's see. Things I have to tell Hellstrom. Father Dumas wants us to go save the day somewhere outside of town. We might need to borrow some horses that may never be returned.
Surprise.
And someone's gonna have to cover for me. Smithers has been doing fine. Hopefully, Hellstrom doesn't mind him doing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna wrap one of the jelly and cream filled ones up, and take it into Hellstrom's office as a icebreaker.
Butter 'em up.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I seem to remember that you liked these.
I heard, a little someone told me that these were your favorite. No.
The wife just put him on a diet, so he can't have them.
Yeah.
Well,
She says he's getting chubby.
okay, well.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I will take my coffee and
Donuts.
Hellstrom's donut to his office.
Okay. Well-
And I leave a note on the box of donuts in like the common room saying for Smithers to distribute.
Okay. All right. So
I'm leaning heavily on.
you're leaning heavily on Smithers.
Yeah.
That's fine. He seems like a promising candidate to do your work for you. So
Take your place when you're dead.
Yeah.
Someone will have to.
all right. So you head into the offices and you find good old Captain Hellstrom. Is actually just about to head out on doing some morning routine round stuff that apparently he does that I just thought of.
Oh, well,
He's like,
uh,
good morning.
good morning, Captain. I have your favorite delectable bakery delight.
Who told you these were my favorite? As he takes it from you.
I heard a bird.
Ah,
and
I'm
they
gonna have
said
to kill that
jelly
bird.
and cream is the word.
it's like, it's as after you say that, he's like, I guess I'm gonna have to kill that bird. So as he starts taking a bite from his donut, and then laughs at your expression. So,
Yeah, because I don't know him that well yet, so I was horrified that he might actually kill someone for sharing his.
he's
donut
a
likes.
man of the law. He just does things outside of it sometimes,
Yeah,
just not
yeah.
murder.
Oh, okay.
That, as far as you know.
And make people disappear.
So.
Oh man. So yeah, I'll clear my throat, have some coffee, as a little sip, and I thought that you should know that, and I'll like close the door behind me as I start my sentence.
Oh, well, we're like, he's walking out, so you're gonna have to walk and talk with him because he's going out and doing stuff, yeah.
Okay, so I will march next to him because I know he has a very specific cadence that he always walks at, and I will whisper to him, hopefully loud enough for him to hear, but nobody else can hear. I thought that you should know that Father Dumas, and I'll sip some coffee, stopped by and asked a group of us to, and I'll just sip some more coffee, to help him in an errand outside of the city.
So he'll look at you and nod. He's like, yes, we discussed that earlier this week.
And I'll stop whispering. Oh, good, good, excellent.
So he continues. You guys walk out of the offices, and you're going out. You're in the city, walking around, making what he calls his morning rounds.
Okay.
Mostly, it's about like people seeing him, that kind of stuff, because
Right.
having a good impression of the leadership in the City Watch, especially after all the horror show that's recently took place, is he feels is important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta show face.
Yeah.
So
So he's like, I'm glad that you decided to take the Father Dumas seriously. Actually, you would say, I'm glad you decided to take Pender seriously, because that's his first name. They're on first name terms.
oh, of course.
They're
yes,
they're
absolutely.
besties.
Absolutely, Captain. An upstanding citizen such as the father should be taken seriously. Remembering my past transgressions.
Get that nose way up there.
So, I'm
Can't
assuming
smell
you're
it.
here
Yeah.
to find out what I can do to help.
Actually, sir, I believe that we may only need to borrow some horses and possibly some supplies. But if you have any other suggestions, I'm all ears, sir.
Okay, so let me. I'm going through my thing. Summarize. So he is he says like, if that dark sword in Alexia's hands poses a danger to Corvus, then we most assuredly want to get that out of her hands. So, resources are at your disposal. I am also prepared to pay for your services and the services of your friends.
Oh, they would be more than happy to know how much.
So he'll laugh. Oh, I'm sure they would. And then silence for a moment.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
Oh, more coffee.
I really love how awkward you are around him. It makes it so easy. I've been able to requisition from this, from the books enough to pay 100 gold pieces per day, per person. I'm pretty sure that a minimum of 300 gold pieces will suffice. If there's more than that, I'm sure that we can work everything out. Work out the details when you return. I've also been by one of our local alchemists, and I've procured some of Corbin's essential elixir, which is a Iron Kingdom specific healing potion, which is pretty freaking awesome. He takes out a small satchel and gives it over to you. When you take it and open up the flap to the satchel, you see there's 3 rather thin vials inside of it that have this like yellowish colored tinge to them.
Okay. And is the essential elixir something that I would have heard about previously, that I would have knowledge of?
I think so. So it is. What you know about it is that it will give the person a boost of healing when they first drink it, and then a minute later it will give them another boost of healing.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Wow.
It's a double trouble potion of healing.
Yep.
And
So
it probably tastes better than this other stuff.
it might. So there's 3 of them in there.
Excellent.
Those were not cheap. So use them
yeah, so-
wisely, if at all.
I'm pretty sure that I have never actually seen it in person before. That's how expensive it is. So yeah, I've heard stories of it. I'll put it in like the most well padded part of my satchel.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, if anybody bumps me too hard in the street, like there's some layers of cushion between them and the vials.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, excellent.
And sir, we may also need horses, because I don't know if I mentioned that already. Yeah, I probably did.
Do you know where you're going yet?
Got some feelers out.
Yeah, I've got some feelers out. I sound none too assured.
Well, if you need horses, they'll be available, but I suggest first you try to figure out where you're going before you figure out how you're going to get there.
Yes, Captain, of course. That sounds like the best plan.
Duh.
Makes mental note. Where the hell are we going?
So, and he can tell the only thing that he can tell you, he tells you far less of that because he doesn't really know as much. He trusts the Father Dumas to tell you the information that they have available to them, and so we know that there's a temple somewhere out in the swamps, and that's all they know. I don't know which swamps or which way to go or where it is or how far away it is or anything. So that's the stuff that you have to find out.
Cool. Excellent.
In the swamp.
The group you.
She in the swamp.
So.
Gotta go visit the swamp people.
So,
They're gone.
is there anything else you would like to do, John?
Well, yeah, I should probably go back and, like after I take my leave of Captain Hellstrom, go back and let Smithers know that he'll be in charge for, at least the next couple of days. And I'll let him know where the bakery is that I keep getting these donuts from.
Okay. So, to keep morale up.
Yeah. And I just want him to know that I have full confidence in his abilities, and any decision that he makes has my pre-approval. So don't fuck it up.
Of course, sir. I'm
I'm gonna leave. Let's see. So I still don't have a full comprehension of how much things should actually cost here, as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Like a baker's dozen of donuts. Is that like a few copper?
No. So here's one of the things then what Max and I have talked about, because this is all of these settings, like all over that use gold piece, silver piece, copper piece as currency, like are vastly like way off base for like what a civilization would be doing. Like they might be, we might be doing it a little bit low with like how much you get every month for your wages, but we're not. We're far closer to the mark than what the books say, and so we've actually decided that we've put in a sub level under copper. What do we decide to call it? Clips?
Bits, tin pieces, iron pieces. No,
No, it was like clips. Like
clips and bits.
yeah, clips and bits.
Yeah,
And those bits were the smaller ones.
bits were like a quarter of a coin.
Oh, no, that's clips were, I thought.
Clips
Unless
were-
it was the opposite.
I think clips were half a coin.
No, we
Right.
did it more. We did it far more lower.
A tenth of a coin.
Yeah, I think so.
Bits were a tenth of a coin.
Yeah,
I think that's justifiable.
yeah. So there's like, so there was clips and there's bits, and bits were basically parts of a copper, essentially.
Okay.
And so
Somebody snipped it in half.
now there
Yeah.
are people that do that, but oftentimes what will happen, especially because it's in a city when you're going there. And you're living there, there's a lot of, trade and things that go on. So you can be like, I'm going to pay you a copper now, and for the next, 5 days, I get donuts kind of deal. So that way you don't have to clip them, because when you clip them, you aren't going to be able to take them out really a lot of the time. Like, it'll be just in, sometimes even in neighborhood currencies after that. Like, if you wanted to go buy something from one of the quote-unquote reputable shops, they might not take your clips,
Okay.
So-
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah.
So I'll leave him a couple copper pieces for the donut fund,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll just say that this last batch that I picked up today was the last batch that I'd already prepaid for. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have your preferred baker, feel free to use them. But if they're not good enough, the men are gonna know that you're cheaping them out. So
That's on you,
yeah.
not me. That I will
Yep.
not condone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheap donuts are worse than a raft made of bodies. I say in my head, not out loud.
Are you suffering from PTSD?
I'm never gonna forget that scene.
Awesome.
It's burned into my retinas.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. So you are beginning to make arrangements for what you believe is going to be a trip out of town for an indeterminate amount of time.
Yes.
Excellent. We will move on to, let's see, either Robin or Jay.
I'll go.
Okay, so, you've finished up with the dinner the night before. You know that you are looking, you need to start figuring out where this temple might be so you can go to it. You're trusting in Yashirim to get you some payment for your services, and hopefully he'll have something back for you later today. But for right now, what would you like to do?
So, Father Demas told us that it's a temple, but he doesn't know where it is.
That is correct. It is it's more of a rumored temple. He believes that the rumors are true, and that they would be somewhere in General Swamp area, A through E option. So,
Okay.
so he
I'm sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna, Max, there was a spell.
he's
you
not
told me
listening. He
about.
doesn't have his thing on.
Does he need me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm screwed in now.
Okay. You got everything taken care of so far?
No, this is not like a 10-minute deal. This
Well
is-
then, baby, if that's not a 10-minute deal, then you need to stop and be a part of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
I was just wondering, there was a spell you were telling me about where I can send a message through the wind. I forgot the name of it now.
actually, message is the spell. There's
Is
another
it?
one that birds do. Let me grab my book and I'll give you more information on it.
Okay, Animal Ambassador.
Tom is using the book. What did she do?
Oh, it's underneath that stack of books on the table.
Ah, I see it.
While you are looking for that, I'm going to take a short rest. Doo-doo. Mhm.
Can you hear me, Max?
He doesn't have his headphones on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I found Animal Messenger. That's a 4th level druid spell.
Second level.
It says 4th level here.
I'm looking at it. It says second level, send a tiny animal to a specific place.
Is it called Animal Ambassador?
No, it's called Animal Messenger.
Messenger.
Now, Animal Messenger has some problems with it. When you send it to a location, if you tell it to wait for a man in a blue hat, the first man with a blue hat that comes round, it's going to spill its beans and be gone.
Okay, that's a 2nd level spell. And there's a 4th level spell called Animal Ambassador.
Turn the AC down a little bit because it's still quite warm over in this corner.
Yes, this corner has 2 flat screen TVs pointed at it. Gets very hot.
Yeah.
And then, what's the one where I can send it to? Because I don't see that one. It's called Message.
That is, I believe, to be a wizard spell.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I can't find it.
Yes, 0th level wizard spell called Message allows you to whisper a conversation at a distance. It does not allow the recipient to whisper back the same conversation, but they can at least hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do then is in the what's it called? Sorry, college, the university.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any like birds that we're keeping anywhere?
Do we have any? Well, I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
You don't need to. You're a druid.
Yeah. You're.
Well, I'd have to know where the birds are then.
That's true. And birds are outside, right?
Yeah.
Go. So all you gotta do is...
Call to them like a Disney princess.
That's what I was about to say, but...
But everybody's talking over each other. Robin, what were you gonna say?
I'm pretty sure that given the general time period, the university probably also have like pigeons too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I would agree. There's probably carrier pigeons. Somebody who looks a lot like Nikola Tesla lives up in the same space as them and loves them and cares for them.
I would also like to point out they probably have a very unintelligent individual who works in the library putting books away, and they refer to her as just a bird. You could probably give her a message. Hopefully she'll be able to get it to the right location.
That's terrible. You're a terrible human being.
I am.
I like it.
Alright, so you have the option of the dim-witted librarian or the pigeon roost, or you can just call a bird from one of the trees like a Disney princess. Whichever one you think is cooler, I guess.
We should leave it to the audience. Let the audience pick.
If we have an audience, that would be awesome. But...
Is it loading?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Ooh.
I'm gonna find a
There's-
pigeon
Electric skateboard. Whoever
and cast Animal Ambassador on it, and give him a message to send to who's the most trustworthy?
most trustworthy.
Probably the officer. I'll send a message to the Mr. Officer Hashim.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just gonna tell him that when they need me or if they need me, I will be at the same place they found me in the woods last time.
Oh my goodness. Or even better, what you can do is like maybe have it like when you need me, send a pigeon to me, like, this way. They'll, like, this pigeon will know my scent and they will be able to find me, or some weird druid stuff.
Okay, is that... So the way the ambassador spell works is
Mhm.
I make the creature sentient so it can actually speak, and it actually says the words to Yashim.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the day, after its message is delivered, it just goes back to normal. So would I have to use another spell for that to make it return to me?
Yeah,
Or
unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to,
is there a spell I can
Yeah.
call an animal? That's not no.
because we want it to, like, we don't want to make it, here's my thought on the thing. And I think I want you to go out there because, like, that's your place and that's what you're comfortable with. But, I also don't necessarily see it as, time-wise to have somebody have to go out and get you to bring you back, and if instead, like, there's some way that they could send out something to you to tell you, hey, we're doing stuff, like, that would be more ideal, I think.
Well, oh yeah, I was thinking of that too. But since we're going into I'm probably going to be back anyways because I'm just going out into the woods to look for information.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be back before they need me anyways.
Mhm.
This is just in case they need me, I'm going to be here.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Also, to train a pigeon to go to a location is a really easy handle animal skill, and something that should be able to be done by a druid within like minutes
Yeah, I
or
have
hours, so that he could get a pigeon that will fly to a particular location, and when you let it go, it'll fly and deliver a message. So that's what pigeons used to do, fly from point A to point B, back and forth. So he could go out to his place in the swamp, train a pigeon that this is where I'm at, and then that pigeon flies back to the university, and the guy gets a message and goes, oh, I should deliver this message.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, we go to the university, hey, is the tree hugger here? And they go, no, he's out in the swamp. Can you tell him to come back into town? Sure. Pigeon. And as long as nobody shoots that pigeon between point A to point B, that's kind of like the slow telephone game.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so
I think
that's
that's-
what I'll do is I'll take the pigeon out with me. I'll let the university know that I'm borrowing something.
You're
And
so
then I'll take
kind.
it out to the swamp with me
Okay.
and train it to
Come back to where
stay
you
with
are.
the person. Stay with the person I send it to.
Oh, okay.
Can you name the pigeon Eugene?
Why Eugene?
Because it's a crossover for our Bridge World game. Eugene's always there and he's the
Okay.
messenger.
As long as it wasn't like a Walking Dead thing.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Nobody here does that.
Who watches
No.
TV?
No, nobody here would do
Skylar.
such a thing. So,
Alright.
okay, yeah, let's do it.
So then I need to roll handle animal.
You
Or
can,
take a
or
10.
take a 10.
I got a nat 20.
Yeah,
Plus 8 will be 28.
yeah,
So this pigeon loves me.
And you've taught it how to carry a switchblade.
yep. And you've taught it how to tell jokes in a language that for pigeons, so pigeon jokes. So it's
Means
cool.
that's a really
It's
damn good roll.
I know, it's amazing. So yeah, among other things, you have taught your pigeon to make its home between the spot in the forest that you've claimed as your own and wherever you send them to in Corvus, which
Okay,
I'm
so
assuming is going to be Yashirim. So
Yeah,
Yashirim
I'm gonna
and
send him to Yashirim. The message, exact words on the message will say, Yashirim, if you or the group needs me, I will be in the woods. I have been trained to stay with you until you need to send a message. So now Yashim will have a pigeon.
hello, my name is
Wow.
Eugene,
Eugene.
and I am now your pigeon until you send me back to Agon with a message. Essentially. So okay,
So,
yeah.
so
Well,
after I am done like talking to Smithers in my office, a pigeon flies through the window and lands on my shoulder with a note attached to its leg.
No, it's not a note. It's a talking
talk-
pigeon.
It's
It's
a
a-
goddamn talking bird, man.
It's a talking
I
bird.
forgot. The bird talks.
It's a talking
Okay.
bird.
It only talks for that one message, though. After that, it's done.
Yeah, you have to
I
give it a scroll.
I would totally
I
have the
would-
bird fly in, and the message would be, "I've come with important news. You must follow after me for a great and important mission." And that's it. That's all he would say. And so you're like, "What mission? What's it about?" He got nothing else to say. And then when you let him go, he flies away.
Best prank ever.
Yeah, exactly. This bird can talk. And then people would be fucking. Pigeons would fly into places and be like, "There's thousands of gold coins. Quick, follow me."
Oh my god, pigeon
Totally
spam.
going to train a frog to do the Michigan dance.
Michigan.
And-
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello,
after
my
that, he
ragtime
can't sing it.
Oh my
So then,
god.
you know,
So it just does it at one time.
Look, it's a singing frog.
Or a frog that pops out of the water and says, "Kiss me, I'm actually a prince."
Yeah, that's amazing. All of those things I see in Agon's future. Sowing little tiny seeds of chaos.
Cheers.
Fantastic.
And then I will head out for the swamp.
Okay.
And I want to head in the directions of the goblins. That
Oh,
I
Oh,
met.
the gobbers that you met before?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I can't find any like stray ones, like
Mhm.
exploring or doing whatever they do, then I'll head straight for the city.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and do your perception? Is it perception? I think it's kind of perception, yes. Yes.
What?
To find gobbers in
Geography.
the woods.
To track something? That's a survival roll.
Survival. That's the one. Okay.
20.
So you don't find any gobbers, but you do find their trails, the little that they followed previously, and so you are able to over the next couple hours get into the woods and get on your way to the city of the gobbers, or the the swamp town, or something. So yeah, so when you get close, there are going to be like little gobbers, doing sentry stuff, So do you try to hide from them, or do you make your presence known immediately? Like, how do you want to enter the village?
I'll slowly and cautiously walk up
Okay.
with a hand in the air waving.
Okay. Did you introduce yourself as anything in particular? I can't remember.
Agon.
Just Agon? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if the one...
Agon of the woods.
Agon of the Woods. Okay, yeah, the gobber rolls a 19, so I'm pretty sure he recognizes you as one of the gobbers that was in the hunting party.
Okay.
So, hunting party, or
Okay.
I don't remember if that was it. But anyways,
Greet him warmly with a handshake or however they do things.
Hmm.
Whatever symbols they use.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think they're gonna handshake.
Maybe
but-
a fist bump.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a fist bump,
Oh,
or it's like or they might do the Ankh-Morpork one where they show like both sides of the hand before they shake, so they that they're not trying to kill you.
Jim Bro nod.
Jim Bro nod, lots of
Okay.
options. So
Yeah, I'll do that and tell him I come looking for information.
information. You need to speak to the boss. So, we'll take you into the village, and you see a lot of you're getting a lot of stairs. The gobbers that you saw before were all like.
Can I backtrack?
Yeah. Do it.
I want to kill I want to find some
Ooh.
rabbits or something
Okay.
to bring as gifts. Some
Yeah.
dead rabbits.
Yeah, that's easily done. You call the rabbits to you with your sweet Disney voice. and then grab them by the ears and smash them against a rock before bringing. I love your face there. Before bringing them as trophies and presentations to the gobbers. They're very excited about rabbits. You got like 3 rabbits, so well done. So, as part of your hello and want to talk to you, you present your rabbits, and they're very excited about like having meat. Meat is good. And then they will take you inside the village as an honored guest, which by all intents and purposes apparently means that they won't kill you and eat you.
Okay.
Or at least kill you. And then give you as an offering to Vori, the swamp, the dragon of the things. Yeah.
I'll thank them for not killing me.
they laugh. You're welcome. Yes.
Before I get into it too far, what has Father Tomas told me, like,
Sure.
about the temple? Any
Sure.
appearances or clues or?
Okay, so to backtrack just a little bit with what he said that he believes that Alexia has gone to find a hidden temple of Cyrus that is rumored to have been built somewhere in the area. And he doesn't know where they are, and he doesn't really know a whole lot about the place because, you know, the Cyrus is a very different god than what, you know, he works with, obviously. And the only thing that he has to offer is, you know, rumors of what the temple is supposedly holds, like machinery that is able to bring a person back to life, like a true resurrection, not an undead raising dead
If it's
thing.
like above ground or underground or?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so he does not know if it's above ground or underground. He knows that it's supposed to be very large, so assuming that it's not readily seeable, possibly underground, but he can't specify that either way. So, let's see if there's anything else. No, that's the listening stuff. Yeah, he said that the exact location of the temple is unknown. He offered to have, like, you know, look through the church records, or with city academics or local members of the cult in Corvus is what he had suggested to try to go through, and I'm assuming you're looking at from a more different perspective to see if the people who live in the places around here have heard such a thing. So
Yes, exactly.
okay.
And who is Cyrus?
Cyrus is a goddess. She's the machine god. Let's see. What does he know? Cyrus is also known as the clockwork goddess. Her worship is a relatively new phenomenon within the last few centuries, so she's a relatively new deity. As far as that goes, as far as everyone else is aware, that, you know, she hasn't been around too long.
Is this the same one Sarah's character asked about?
Yes.
Okay. Because I believe you said Isis.
No, Cyrus.
Cyrus. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's easily to, like, just hear one thing or not hear another. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
but yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
So most of it's pretty shrouded. He doesn't know a whole lot, and, you know, he offered places to try to maybe go look, or people to ask, and I'm liking where you're going. So
Okay.
proceed.
So I will ask the boss, the goblin boss, if he knows anything about a hidden temple or dungeon or a place that, like, may be forbidden for goblins to go, or something they may have come across in their wanderings.
I also have a suggestion. If she's running around, she might be running around with a cadre of undead. So that you might be asking about a human woman wandering around with the Walking Dead.
Okay.
And don't forget, she's got a giant sword. I mean,
Big old fuck off sword.
I'll ask about that next. Look.
Yeah.
Do the temple first.
Okay, so they are unsure what you mean because they like temples. Temples are for the city, not for here. You know, gesturing at the expanse of woods and nature around them. So, this is temple.
It's a very nice temple too. How about like an underground dungeon? Do you know what a dungeon is?
You begin to explain to them about like rooms and places, you know, like that you would go to and kill monsters in and stuff. And they actually the one of them does seem to like, oh yes, and they describe to you an area where like, they say that there's many rooms and there were things and there was a monster over there and there were these big giant rectangular blocks and stuff. And as they continue to describe, you realize they're describing the place where you've been to, the where the witches were at, that were raised up and had their heads sewn back on.
So yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But have you seen any of them like that in the swamp? Like, and what I'm talking about more is it doesn't necessarily have to have monsters in it, but it may have like a human construction. Like something that was constructed by humans.
They begin like kind of chittering in their native language, and they're like going back and forth. It seems like the one that kind of understands what you're looking for is trying to explain it. And at the end of what appears to be quite a lengthy discussion, you know, at least lasts a couple minutes, so you know something's going on. Isn't that we only go to edge of swamp. We don't go through the swamp. But cousin of ours went through swamp once, and he found a and he's like drawing like this in the air. It's like this thing, like what, a door.
A door.
Big door.
Yes. That's
Bigger
exactly-
bigger than a man. Your size, bigger than tall folk.
Okay. Where can I find your cousin somewhere?
He's dead.
You know where the door was.
They look at it like, swamp. Many leagues away. They said like many leagues, like days, and they're describing it in a way that's like, gosh, this thing must be like so far away. My goodness, you know, to them. So they have an idea. They're telling you that there's something that's in the swamp, like way beyond, in what they call the murk. Like they don't even call it a swamp anymore. They call it the murk. And they don't go there because it's just murk and mud, and you can't live in murk and mud.
Yeah, I agree.
But they can tell you the general direction of where he came from and the stories that he told about it. And that he describes it as just what he saw was this door that came out of a rock. The only, like, one of the only solid places that were there. and there was and when he explored around, he didn't see anything else, just this big door. And then they don't know why he left without trying. He said, but when he left, because he says that he couldn't get in, so there was no point in being there anymore. So he left and came back. There was the one Gobber adventurer that they've ever had has found a door far away across the swamp.
How did he die if he was such a good adventurer?
They will laugh and they'll say that he drowned by a snake. We told him not to go out there, but he did it anyway. Dummy.
There's this face that comes over me like of almost embarrassment. Like, yeah, and I'll agree with them. Yeah, that was kind of stupid of him. Just kind of look off.
Let's see. But yeah, so they point. I'm double checking something real quick, if you'll bear with me. Let's see. So the direction that they point to, it actually seems like they're pointing kind of in the direction of Corvus, but they tell you that it's not Corvus and it's not their underground, it's way past, way beyond. So, like, I believe that you're to the north?
Yes.
So you're to the north of the area, they're kind of pointing to, like, the south and the east direction.
Okay.
And then yeah, but then they'll almost in the same breath as they're talking about him, and then they're remembering all of these other stories that he told and how he actually saw Vori once and all this kind of stuff. So and then they
I'll listen intently.
Yeah.
And if I ask questions, I may ask questions like, "Oh, really? So then what did he do?" or stuff like that.
Yeah. So and they'll say that it's like that he went up and he took one of Vori's scales and then he ran away and then he lost it, so he couldn't show it to us. And then they're like, but his biggest adventure was when he went to the city, and everybody's like, oh, the city, you know. So and then they tell about his misadventures inside Corvus, getting lost in the underground with all of the bones and everything in the old cities. So, and then he ran away and never came back, and that was like when that was one of his last adventures. They think that it kind of messed with his head.
Okay. One last thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen there is a strange woman wandering the swamp and the outskirts of the swamp. She's being followed by the Walking Dead. And first off, have you guys seen anything of her?
They will tell you. They actually, like, when you start describing, they're like, ooh, it's like, that's the one that was in the, you know, in the dungeon you talked about. So, yeah, so they'll say that but they have thankfully not seen her in many days, a long time. So they'll just, by their description, it sounds like it's before like all of the Corvus stuff actually went down with the city. They'll say that they found a ton of footprints of undead coming through the forest, like, you know, several weeks ago, when the event was about to take place. But that's all but they haven't seen any hide nor hair of her or any swamp shamblers since then.
I'm glad to hear that. If you do see her, stay very far away. She's very dangerous.
So, and they will say, yes, we're not going close to that one. Witch. We don't like witches.
No, me either.
Burn the witch. That's what tall folk do. We would eat the witch.
Alright, I will thank him for the information, hand him the rabbits, and tell him to enjoy his feast.
Well, they invite you to stay with the feast if you would like to.
I will gladly stay.
So they'll stay and cook stuff and berries and the nuts that you found. They foraged for many of them. So they foraged all sorts of stuff, and so they found these things that you had found and provided to them. And so now that's one of the things that they send their children off to go collect and bring back. So,
Excellent.
so yeah, so they'll sit there and they'll ask where you've been for the past few days, and they'll and if you tell them that you've gone back into the city, they'll ask like a bajillion questions about the city and how do you survive there. It's terrifying and scary.
When I tell them, I will elaborate extensively and exaggerate and make it sound scary and just to get some oohs and ahs.
Yeah,
out of it.
and you do. You hold them in a rapt audience, and even like the translator people, like with one set that help to translate, they'll stop for a while and just be like, and then one of them will hit and be like, "What is he saying? What is he saying?" So
And I'll especially go into details about how chaotic it appears to be, and describe that it's.
And strange how the people are, like how people write what they did down in books.
Yeah, but mostly I want to describe the chaos, and I'll when I do it, I'll say it with this almost this love for the chaos that I almost enjoy being in the city because of the chaos.
Sorry. You okay?
Yeah.
You gonna make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I laughed at my own joke at the wrong time.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, they will sit in rapt attention. You guys. You.
Yeah, it's just my throat.
Okay.
I was trying to
Do you want
drink.
some water?
No, I don't want any more fluid in my
Okay.
body right now.
Okay. So yeah, they will enjoy all of the time that you're spending with them, and as you continue to tell your tales and feast with the gobbers, we will move over to Robin. And let's see. Robin, my dear, what is Nefera up to?
Well, Inari's got her work. Hopefully, going to get her work back, and I've got plans for when she comes. I'm planning on stopping by the Quad Iron Inn and delivering a sorry for your father, sorry for
Sorry, our friends are
the
terrible
whole job
people.
thing. Sorry for the whole job thing, and glad you got your job back, or / commiseration you didn't get your job back. Like, whichever one's not appropriate gift later.
She's picked out like several gifts. She's like, I know that people like gifts.
No, it's going to be. Actually, she's probably noticed that. Actually, no, Knock probably noticed that Inari likes tea.
Mm-hmm.
When to stop and get like a selection of tea used.
Excellent. Very cool.
But that's in the morning, but that's going to be in the afternoon. In the morning, she's actually going to go to Professor Pendrake's office.
Okay. I believe, and I can't remember 100%, but I believe that Pendrake is actually heading out on his next expedition. So, but there are other people that are at the university, obviously, that you can talk to and get more information from if you'd like.
Well, I was hoping for Pendrake because I wanted to tell him thank you for putting up with my burying myself in my research, and it's really interesting, and I'll share it to you, but I need to talk about this cult of Sire.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will we'll backtrack a little bit. He is in the process of leaving. He's actually leaving today, so he's very excited about hearing about your research and all of the things that you found, and it's not a problem. We enjoy having you here, but we can talk more about your research when I get back.
Yes, perhaps I will have new insight.
Mm-hmm.
There is no easy way of phrasing this. Do you know anything of a hidden temple of the cult of Cyrus?
So he looks at you almost very peculiarly. It is like it's more of a
Measuring look,
yeah,
right?
a little bit. And he's like, "Don't tell me they've been feeding you all of those conspiracy and fantasy stories again. I've told them not to make sure to tell you when they're stories and they're not real."
No, Father Dumas asked us to. He has a lead on Alexia.
I
And-
see.
And I'll tell her, and he believes she might be trying to locate a hidden temple of Cyrus, one that is rumored to be able to raise the dead.
Yes, I've heard many rumors about this place, but I only believe things that I see with my own eyes. So until I see it, I think that it's a fantasy, something that that parents will tell their children scary stories at night so they stay in bed. But if Father Dumas is so adamant about that, and he being such a religious individual, and so he's
Anyway, yeah.
I have a book I will give you. Let me give me one moment. And so he actually calls for one of his staff, and he tells him, he's like, I need go get such and such book that I don't have the name for written down right now. And bring it back here, please. And so they scamper off, and so he says, like, this, I would not take anything in this book seriously. I will preface it with that. However, it does have information in it, whether it's true or fiction, about the temple that's supposedly out here somewhere. At the very least, it might have some use. I don't know. I don't think it will, but if it'll make you feel a little bit better and make the father feel a little bit better about relying on you and your intelligence, then we will use every aspect at our disposal to do so.
Thank you, sir.
So, a few moments later, the staff member comes back in with a book that's maybe about an inch, no, I will say probably about a half an inch thick. It looks more like as if somebody took several pamphlets and stapled them all together to make like a book. And this book, the title of it is, like, we'll just go, like, the truth is out there. We're gonna go full X-Files for a second. And in this book are so many strange tales of, like, hidden monsters lurking in the underbelly of Corvus, and, like, ghost stories of things that, go bump in the night, and conspiracy theories about who Railthorn really was, and all this, like, I mean, like, it goes, like, way out there, like Lone Gunman style.
And magic-eating tentacle monsters that eat Jack.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Yes, very much so. And one of those stories is about this hidden temple of Cyrus. So, it says that this temple is, like, part of the heart of some aspect of these cultists, and they're making it so that one day all of their temples all across the world are going to activate at the same time, and Cyrus is going to come to light and destroy all the things that are chaotic and unnatural, and then all order will be restored in the universe. I mean, like, whew. So there's a lot of stuff there, and as you read through it, most of it is geared towards the cult itself, about all these rumors and all this stuff that they conspiracy theories of what they think this cult is actually trying to do. However, there are a few nuggets that actually seem like maybe somebody actually wrote those with a coherent thought. And but it in very descriptive language. So it describes how the temple of the incomplete axiom is the heart of Cyrus, and it beats every 13 years. And the ritual that goes along with it, opening its chest and taking in new cultists before closing again for another 13 years. So it's like they describe this cyclical nature of this temple of the incomplete axiom. So that's what you think you've been able to glean from all of this fluff, because there's a lot of fluff, a lot of story stuff, and it seems like that, and it's very flowery language. So that kind of description, you're able to pull from that okay, so if this thing exists, it seems like it's not accessible except for one time every 13 years. And it describes how the stars must align in certain ways, and the weather has to be just so, and then the ley lines must, connect and take the power of the stars to energize the heart, and all. I mean, so it sounds like maybe there's something astrological about it too.
Does it describe what stars need to align?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to figure out, pull out a star chart and draw a star chart and compare it to the current season.
Excellent. So, go ahead and let's see. Would that be an intelligence check to get it all right, or should just be it takes some time and then it's done?
Takes some time. It's done.
I think so. Yeah, she already knows this stuff. She's good. It's not like she's redoing anything.
How can you go wrong on looking at one bit of information and checking to see if it's
Yeah, that's good.
Time.
So it'll take you some time. You're going to you pull up all of your information for the season, where the stars are supposed to be, and you think by the end of it, and this is going to take up most of the rest of your day, you think by the end of it, it looks like whatever this 13-year cycle is happening really soon.
Okay, so time is up. So what I get of this is this. I have the temple name, and I have we need to do it soon or not at all.
Yes. So it looks like, and this is a rough estimate until you can actually see the stars this evening to confirm, that it should be anywhere between like yesterday to 4 or 5 days from now.
Oh, that means I'm definitely going to the Quad Iron Inn.
Okay.
And
Now, if you go to the Quad Iron Inn, you make sure that you're gonna have to be back like once the stars are out. So like you'll need to come back about maybe 11 or something at night just to make sure that you can confirm the exact day that this is supposed to happen and if you missed it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going to the Quad Iron Inn and sharing some news, all for it.
Yep. And would there be a tea store
Yes.
open?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll stop. And how much would tea run? Good tea.
Good
Okay.
tea. If you want like the super expensive tea, it's probably going to be a couple copper for like a pound of it. That's really expensive.
Probably mix and match like some a selection.
Okay, so
Selection.
yeah, so if you spend a copper, you'll get a nice assortment of all of the really nice fancy teas, and they'll throw in a couple of like sugar sticks for stirring into the tea as well on top of that.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably honey sticks.
Yeah,
Crystal life honey.
yeah. So, and then you can be on your way.
Yep. And I've got my research now.
Excellent,
My star chart translations
Mhm.
and my book.
excellent. Okay, so let's see, where do we... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just sit down in a corner near the door, ask Knox to swat me or something when Inari comes in.
Okay. So, John, Yashirim, what has Yashirim done today to try to figure out where in the world this place is?
Gone to the library and looked at old maps.
Yeah?
I know how to read, yeah. I
Do-
know how to ask librarians where maps are.
Well, you do know, and this is just, kind of like outside, that Nefera is really good at that shit. So, if she hasn't already done it, there might be something more that you can do as, like, the city watchman dude that you are. There might, there might be people you can ask, and there might be, things like that. Things that that Nefera or Agan or Inari are not able to do that you have advantage for.
So, there are people that go out into the swamps.
Mhm.
Like bush people, trappers and stuff.
Yep.
I think that I would try and ask some of them, possibly some of the ones that have come into the city and improperly speeched, or maybe got a little too drunk for civilized society, and are waiting to be seen by the court or something.
Okay.
In one of the jails or the stocks or something.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, I can let you out of the stocks if you tell me what you know about, this Temple of Cyrus that's somewhere out in the swamp.
Okay. So, you go to the jail, and there was a couple of old bastards that came in from, with their haul of furs and stuff for sale at the markets, and apparently they were not happy with some of the prices that they were given, and put up a little bit of a ruckus over it. Because the town doesn't have, there was a whole lot of shitstorm that happened, so, people are recovering. They can't pay the price that they did last month for, those things, so,
And, the demand for furs is down because, we're trying to rebuild from a zombie attack.
Exactly. So, one of them, posted bail. Not really. One of them just ran away. They didn't get caught. So, with their material, with their furs and shit. So, but the other dude, let's see, what would his name be? Burley, yeah. Burl. Yeah. Burl.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And yeah, so he's in there and he is grisly. He's got the beard and it's not well groomed like yours is.
Right. It's got twigs and moss in it.
No, it's more like, how
Remember before you met me how your beard was?
kind of like that. And his hair is really thick and wiry, so it's kind of unruly, but it's grown out to almost to his shoulders. Think of the Hagrid level of poof hair,
Yeah.
And he's not a small guy. And apparently it took 3 of the city watch to get him to calm down and come with them. So, yeah, he's pretty beefy. He's burly. Mr. Burl is. And so
Right,
he's hanging
right.
out in there in the cell, and you thought that they took all of the stuff, all of his materials from him when they put him in the cell, but as you walk in, you see him sipping on a what do you call that thing?
A flash.
A flask. Yeah, he's got a thin flask that he's putting up to his lips, just kind of hanging out, waiting for this day to be over, so he can get on with his business.
Okay. Is he in a like a cell with others, or did he have to be separated?
Oh, he separated himself.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
We'll put it that way.
I had the idea that I would, bring a bottle of wine to soften the conversation a little bit.
Wine to a trapper.
Well,
He's new.
like fortified wine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
okay.
something you can't get out in the bush.
Okay.
So,
Sounds fair. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit tastier, maybe not quite as strong as what he brews out there in the swamp. From the like, I don't know, beetroots or whatever grows out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I will.
And he doesn't bother to hide it when you walk in either. Like, he sees you, he finishes his swig, he puts the cap on, and then you see him shove it back into his, like some weird pocket that's on his boot that looks, because his boots are kind of, like, flappy, so you think that they were, there, but nope, apparently there's, like, a secret compartment inside his boot that holds his flask.
Yeah, there's an extra fold in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he looks up at you as you walk in.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll pull the guard's stool over to the outside of his cage. Sorry, cell.
Uh-huh.
And sit down and like open the port and like pour myself a goblet of it.
Okay. Swirl it around.
Yes, swirl it around. Like smell it. Because it's good stuff. You gotta enjoy all the sensory inputs.
So, as you're doing that, and he sees you swirl in the glass, he snorts really hard, and spits out a nice big old wad of spit on the floor. I'm like,
Okay.
what? Yeah. What you want?
Burl, I'd like to share this port with you, but I'm not sure if you can handle it.
Oh, you mean you want me to drink that wine juice? I can drink juice all day.
I'll set my goblet on the floor and like push it in like close to the bar so that he can reach it. Have some wine juice, Burl.
And he'll mimic your thing at like he's not watching it, he's watching you, and some of it splashes out a little bit onto his hand when he does it.
Yeah.
And then he'll take it and he'll just chug the entire thing down, like really in a almost awestruck way to you, like, 'cause this is strong stuff for you, right? I'm assuming that it is, right?
Well,
It's strong
I can
enough.
have a few glasses of it.
Yeah. So he drinks it down like juice. He's like, that's pretty good juice. But
Well,
you
Burl,
want to try something to put hair on your chest, you gotta try this. So he takes out his flask. He's like, there you go. Now be careful. You're gonna spill it.
So I'll...
Don't
so-
spit out my swill.
Wow, he just called it swill. So I am going to mimic how he drank this, And then when I after okay, I'm pretty sure you're gonna make me roll to not spit out his swill.
I am.
So let me do that.
I believe it's a
Um,
fort check.
Yeah, I take a very confident swig.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad that fort is my weakest one. Okay, let's do this. 13.
Not bad.
13.
It burns real hard. It burns so bad. Like, you go. Here's how I would describe it best. You don't spit it out on the ground. And you're able to get some of it in your mouth and down your throat, but not the amount that you were planning on doing. You remember, like, the first time you try some, like, really nasty, like that bog water scotch, or like, just a straight up 151 or something that's just terrible?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know?
bet you it does taste like bog water, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he brewed it with the only water that's
You had
around.
available.
Yeah.
He's got a still.
It's swamp swill, you know? Like... Oh, okay.
So you don't spit any out, so you succeed in that. But you were not able to take the massive swill that you wanted to.
Still in your mouth.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, and then I will, yeah. Gosh. So yeah, I try not to cough, and I try to like keep like a very straight face. My bluff is a 21.
Nice.
okay.
Yeah. So it's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It feels bad. It tastes bad. But I keep my confident face, even though I only took a little tiny sip of
Yeah,
it.
you made it look like you did a good amount. Cause you did. It's just most of it went back into the bottle, went back into the flask, so it's okay.
He won't know.
He won't know. It's fine.
Um,
So yeah,
it
you
will taste the
successfully
same.
bluff your way into making it look like you're good. So go ahead.
And then I put the flask into my boot. Like, because I'm trying to imitate him like he imitated me.
He's going to stare at you.
You know.
He's
Yeah.
staring at you.
Yeah, no, I know he's staring at me. I'm staring right back at him. Burl, I hear you spend a lot of time out in the
Oh,
swamp.
before you get to really say anything, he's gonna like do that snort laugh, like like that. Yeah, you're like, I guess you ain't some pussy sit bar after all.
Oh my.
No, and yeah, so I'll chuckle and like push the port bottle close to the bars so he can have some more juice.
Okay.
You know, fair trade.
Yeah.
Swamp swill for city juice.
Go ahead.
Yes, so like Burl, you spend a lot of time out in the swamp, don't you?
Of course, I've been all day and all night.
All day and all night. Well, you want to get back there sometime soon?
I'll get back there in like next week, probably.
I mean, I can get you back out there in the next couple of days if you can help me.
A couple of days. I'd rather wait out. What you want?
I'm looking for I'm looking for a very particular location. That's may or may not be a temple in the swamp. You seen anything unusual out there?
You see things out in the swamp. You see things out in the swamp. Sometimes
What?
they real, sometimes they ain't.
Are they ever walking dead?
Sometime. You got those shamblers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a place you usually see them, or is it just your nightmares?
You know, shambling through the swamp.
Just Shamble, dude. God damn it, Burl.
What, you asked where the swamp people are? They're in the swamp. Swamp Shambler in the swamp.
You're right, Burl. You're right. Swamp Shamblers are in the swamp.
Not stupid. Don't be rude.
I'm not. Look, I don't know what the swill has done to his brain.
It's mostly methanol.
So,
What kind of temple you look for? What kind of temple you want?
gosh, okay, so Father Moss didn't really tell us anything
Helpful.
helpful about this temple, did he?
I've
other
repeated
than
all
it's
of
in
this
the
stuff
swamp.
that I said like all the time tonight. I'm not repeating it again.
Okay,
It's a
that's
temple to
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Yeah, okay,
So that's like clockwork and machinery.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like, there was no physical descriptor of what this temple might look like
Correct.
or be.
Correct.
Okay, that's yeah.
'Cause nobody knows.
So you,
Alright. Well, Burl, there's a god with the clockwork pieces called Cyrus, and we're looking for their temple. Look, I'm using ambiguous pronouns because I don't know.
But it's a lady.
Not anymore.
so you see him working his mouth, spitting, shaking another nice long drink from the wine. Is like, I ain't seen that, but I know who has.
Okay. Who has?
You let me out, I tell you.
How about you tell me I let you out?
I ain't stupid, boy.
I ain't a boy, stupid.
You can-
No, that's legitimate. That's completely okay. I mean, we're at name calling stage at this point in time.
You just keep going.
No, you gotta give it back to him
That's right. You have to give it back to
so
him.
they respect you for it. I know Swamp People. I've seen that show.
That's the last
Alright.
of bush people.
Yeah. And I'll like pull the watch tabard aside so that the jail keys are clearly visible hanging from my belt. Like a couple of days could be a couple of minutes if he just helps me out.
So, he eyes the keys. So it's like, takes another drink for, like, actually finishes the bottle at this point, because it's just like, and then he belches real loud afterwards. I can't do that, so I'm gonna try. There you go.
Wow.
On command,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Yeah. You want Madron?
Madron?
No, he
I-
said it doesn't matter. Don't you speak swamp people?
No.
I like to see homos naked.
You want to see Homeboy naked?
No, I said home is where you make it.
Oh.
no, yeah, it's like, no, you gotta find Madron.
Oh, swamp.
And where would I find Madron?
Madron, he stay in town somewheres. I don't know, you don't see no swamp no more. He got spooked.
Spooked by what exactly?
Hell if I know.
All right. So your helpful information that's supposed to have me let you out is that I have to go find somebody somewhere in Corvus,
Yeah, and named Madron. Used to be one of you people.
and his name's Madron.
Madron.
I'm gonna pull up my notepad. Can you spell that?
Nope.
And I Dren. There you go.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
All right, Burl. Well, when I find Madrin, I'll be back to let you out.
That ain't no deal. I'll be out here before you even leave.
I'll stand up and put the stool back where I got it from.
Alright. That's how it's gonna be. I'm gonna remember your face, boy.
Oh shit.
I told you who you need to see. He's the one that's all this stupid temple shit you talking about. You talking to Mandarin, he'll tell you where it is. I don't know, cause I don't believe him.
All right, Burl. If you can give me anything other than his name, like what's his face look like?
How do I
About
know?
how tall
I
is he?
ain't seen him for 5 years.
He did.
Oh shit!
He's-
What if he is?
He skedaddled back into town. Too scared of the swamp.
Well,
All
what
his
did he
friends
look
is
like-
dead.
What did he look like last time you saw him?
Like a boozer.
What color's his hair?
Yeah.
Does he have
Yeah.
hair?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'll start doing. I'll be like, about how tall is he, Burl? What color is his hair? Does he have a nose still, or did it rot off in the swamp?
Syphilis.
Yeah.
So he'll describe some dude
With the nose.
with a nose. Brownish
Okay.
hair, maybe.
He's never seen it clean. so
You never
he doesn't
seen
know
it
what
clean, you
color.
don't know what color it is. You ain't never been washed in front of him, you don't know.
Warshed. Warshed in
He's
front of
doing
him.
his best.
All right. So he's about yay tall. He's
Yeah.
got hair and a nose. Last time you saw him,
Yeah.
and his name is either Mandarin,
No.
or
Mandarin, the first time he had it right.
Madrin.
God.
Madrin.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
Yep. Clear as day.
It's always rainy here.
All right.
Oh wait, it's not Seattle. Never mind.
Wrong game, Sarah.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
All right.
Zara's dad left.
I'll I guess I'll open the cell now. Since he's been so helpful.
He's gonna kick your ass.
No, we're friends
You open
now.
the
We're
door,
totally
he
friends.
runs off and he kills a baby.
Shit.
That's terrible.
And it's always rainy in Seattle.
Yep.
So, do you unlock the cage? As you put it before?
Yes.
Okay, he's standing back. He ain't rushing the door or nothing. He's standing there waiting.
Yeah, actually, let me do like a sense motive on him.
Okay,
before
yeah.
I totally unlock it and open it.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Better roll okay.
I
Uh-oh.
got a 20.
Okay, so yeah, he has pretty much as far as you can tell, he's telling you the truth. He like some dude who used to be in the swamp, who apparently he says he used to be one of you all. So either that means he used to be a city boy or he used to be a city watchman, and then because you didn't ask, and
True. Yeah.
I
assumed.
and then he described him as best as he could. Said it's been a few years since he's seen him though, because he ran out because he was a pussy and all his friends died because of it, and so now he hides in the city where it's safe.
Yeah, until a few weeks ago.
Is it-
And all the crazy came out of the swamp. That man must be terrified by now.
So now I gotta catch him before he sails away to some other safer place.
There are probably 2 islands in a stream.
That's what oh fuck.
Alright, so
Alright, so you open the door. He's standing there waiting. Like.
Oh, I mean, there's no paperwork. I hand him the ticket, for all of his confiscated items.
I'll take my flashback, buddy.
All right, so, I'm gonna reach down and pull it back out of my boot and take another swig.
Okay.
Fort check.
I'll give you a fort check, but you can have a +2 because now you know what it is, what it tastes like.
Sorry, 13.
With the +2.
Yeah.
All right, this
Yeah.
time you do cough. You cough a bit. And trying to get it down. Your eyes water just a little bit. And so, and he gives this like big old beastly laugh, like some like a giant laugh. Before like he brings his hand up, and first you're like, oh my god, he's gonna beat the crap out of me. And he just like claps you on the shoulder real hard. He's like, that's all right. Happens first time every time.
First time every time. Yeah, so I'll hand him back his flask while I'm coughing, and
Good shit.
yeah, that's some good stuff, Pearl.
Yeah, you come to the swamp, I'll get you a bottle. Actually, he said, you come to the swamp, I'll get you a jar.
There you go.
Jar. Yeah.
Jug.
All right, Pearl.
They don't use jug.
It's
they use
okay,
jug.
he said jug.
Oh, okay. That's right. I'm sorry. He did say jug. I'm letting my city get in the way of my swamp.
Yep. All right, Pearl. Just stay out of trouble until your next visit.
Alright. And then he'll take his slip in his flask and give you back the empty bottle, and be like, and then make his way out to find his confiscated belongings and head home in the swamp,
Excellent.
where things are safe and he understands the world.
Yeah, right. All right. So, I assumed that when he said one of y'all, he meant City Watch.
Okay. Okay.
So, I need to find the employee records division, and
It's called Go Talk to Hellstrom.
Or go talk to any of the guys who've been there for a few years. Hellstrom,
oh yeah,
Hellstrom's not your go-to guy. You've got Smithers and probably a few other people.
yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine there's like,
Or just a there's a record place. You can totally look at it, in whatever records. That's not a big deal.
I'm gonna go to Roz in records and
Do you want to
see
do
if
Roz?
she knows. I'm looking for a fellow by the name of Madrin. Used to be a watchman some time ago.
How long is some time?
I'll start counting on my fingers. I don't know, Roz. Years?
We never had a
5, 10.
Modron here.
What about a Madrin?
We didn't have a Madron either. We had a Modron. A couple of years back.
Like a couple meaning literally 2, or a couple meaning possibly 10 or 11?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Well, this one that I'm looking for just came back from the swamp 5 years ago. So it would be longer ago than that. Roz, if you can help me out.
I'm just telling you what I remember. I remember he smelled the vanilla and jasmine.
Oh.
Is that Modrin that you're talking about, or?
Yes, Modron. Very handsome man like you.
Oh shit.
Well, Roz, I mean, I'll be happy to track down Modrin if you help me track down Modrin or Madrin. Yeah, maybe
Let
some
me
files?
check the records. Do you know what side of Corvus he worked on?
The inside.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
imagine her
so-
doing anything but staring at this point in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, Roz, I have no idea what side he worked on.
So, Roz will look. She actually keeps very pristine records. So, all of the M's are actually there. She just likes to give everyone a hard time. So,
For entertainment.
The entertainment.
Here's all the M's for the last 22 years. Do not get them out of order.
okay.
Oh,
So,
thanks, Roz.
you gotta keep it where I can see it.
You can't leave the building with that.
I'm always watching.
So, go ahead, John.
Yeah, can I take them to my office, Roz?
No.
Do you have a table that I can use, Roz?
No.
There is
Lap.
the flat surface that you two are standing between right now. So,
Okay.
You can sit in her lap.
No, I'm just gonna start spreading everything over her desk area.
are you spreading it or are you flipping through the names?
Oh, yeah, sorry, no, I'm not just randomly spreading things around.
Because that would make her unhappy.
So I will, are they like in folders, like personnel folders?
No, they're pieces of paper with information on them. So
Oh, God.
starting from the MAs, going back into the M, everything else's.
Okay, so I will just start, I will scan the name on the first one, and if it's not Madrin, I'll flip it, like this way, so that the top is down, so that I can keep continuing flipping the stack until I find some Madrins.
Alright, well, it actually doesn't take you very long until you find a Madrin.
Oh, good.
Drake Madrin.
Drake Madrin. Excellent.
Got a little heart next to it.
It looks like he was a watchman for 10 years, up until about maybe 7 or so years ago. And then he retired into a life of adventure.
Misadventure.
Apparently so.
Okay. Is there any information on his sheet about where he used to live in Corvus?
Yeah, sure. Somewhere. Somewhere else. Well, say the west side. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll do that.
Oh, good. That's somewhere near where I am now. Or, well, not where I am now, but where I live.
Yeah.
now.
To have your exact flat.
Oh, good. I can ask Pip for better description.
Okay.
Is there, does there happen to be a, like a artist's rendition of his sketch anywhere
No.
in his paperwork?
No,
Oh,
there's
great.
not.
No, they didn't
But-
start doing that till afterwards, I guess.
Yeah. But you could see if that's the same Madrin that Roz likes.
Oh yeah. Hey Roz, is this Drake Madrin the fellow that you're looking for?
Ah, yeah, that's the one.
Uh, So Roz, you said he was a handsome fellow like me, right?
Maybe better looking.
Could you describe him for me? Yeah, like
Just
height.
Doesn't matter. Whatever
hair
description. There's
color.
not a description in the book.
Oh, that's
so.
fine. Okay. Let's see. When he came through the door, he was almost as big as the doorway itself. His hair would flow with unnatural beauty down past his shoulders, and he had such a rugged continent of his face. It was something to behold in the early mornings while looking over my simple glasses. I was such a young and innocent woman in those days.
Okay, Roz. And
Eyes as murky as the river.
God.
well,
Eyes as murky as the Black River. Very nice. That'll be a good one too.
well, when I find him, Roz, I'll be sure to give him your regards.
All right. So looks like you have somewhat of a description, or at least
Yeah.
a 10-year-old description.
Fills most of a doorway, unnaturally flowy hair, ruggedly handsome, and eyes as murky as the river.
The Black River,
The Black River.
not the Dragon's Tongue River.
Right.
Yeah. She's specific with her
And
details.
she could probably even say something. And he had nice straight teeth.
Ooh.
Oh, good teeth. Okay.
Oh man.
I mean, no telling what the swamp did to him, but
That's true. Chewing on rocks and whatnot out there.
yeah. You're hungry? Chew on a rock. Okay. Well, Roz, I really appreciate your help.
And
And I'll very carefully neaten up the files and
careful with that, Inari. I'm watching you.
Oh my God.
all right, thanks, Roz.
So, as you head out, we're gonna flip over to you right now.
I don't have anything.
And that's fine, because as you are kind of doing whatever you do, Emmett, you happen to see. And actually, you know what?
Loafing.
You're loafing, but today you're loafing close to the City Watch buildings because you wanted to make sure that Captain Hellstrom remembered your face. Just every once in a while, we like to go over there just to do something completely legal, so he can't do anything, but he still has to see you.
This sounds like me.
Yeah, and as you are loafing about with your paid beverages because you paid for them and tipped even, you see your friend Yashirim kind of walking very quickly out of the building like he's on a mission.
I will, I will take my jack, my leather jack, still filled with my drink, toss an extra coin down to pay for the cup as I will move quickly up behind him.
Okay. Are you doing so stealthily?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a 10.
All right, what do you got?
24.
All right, do a perception, John.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then I'll take
15.
a 10 on my bluff. I tap him on the left shoulder and come around his right.
Okay. So, John, you do not realize he's behind you. You feel a tap on your left shoulder.
Okay. What would it be to counter a bluff roll like that? Anything?
Well, I think that you would have had to know what's happening in order to bluff it back.
Oh,
So.
okay. Yeah. So yeah,
This is a game I
will-
win.
Yeah. I will quickly turn. I'll spin on my heel to look over my left shoulder.
And I've moved around to his right side now.
Okay.
So I'm walking beside him.
So you turn around, you turn back, and you see that Emmett is on your right, walking with you, as if he was always there.
Oh, hey, Emmett.
Hello, Yashirim.
How are you on this fine day? I say as I turn back around and start walking quickly again.
Not drunk. And not drinking alcohol in public places either. Not in front of Hellstrom, not in front of police department. I'm not breaking any laws.
Well, we all have to start somewhere.
The day is still young. And I will hold my leather jack up and say, coffee.
I will hold my my empty port bottle up and say, I didn't get to enjoy it.
Interrogation.
Yeah, oh yeah, interrogation. That's what I'll say. Interrogation.
Your day started off well. You walk like a man with purpose.
Yes. I'm off to find somebody who could helpfully tell us where to find our temple in the swamp. Would you care to join?
I would love to. I have nothing else better to do. All job posts have been pulled. Carts have broken wheels. People not leaving because of street problems and mud flows. It's just going to be days of staying in town. So, I need something to keep myself occupied and on the right side of law for at least another 12 hours before sun goes down.
Excellent. Well, hopefully 12 hours will be plenty of time to find Drake Madrin.
Have I ever heard that
Yes,
name?
you have.
Alright, knowledge local. I'll take a 10, that gives me a 20.
Yeah, you know him. You actually know him pretty well. He was, he tried to do so, he was a city watchman, so obviously you know him.
Of course I know him.
He, and then when he decided that wasn't the life he wanted to lead anymore, he wanted to be, go see the world, he decided to, start working on the trains, the caravans that you did. So you
Yeah.
spent some time with him, you got to know him. He was, he was okay, dude. He's very energetic and very like, I want to see the world, I want to have an adventure, I'm tired of sitting around on my ass doing nothing kind of person, right?
Right.
And a few years ago, he met up with a group of people who they called themselves dungeon delvers. They went around like ancient ruins looking for treasure and stuff, and he got like totally enamored with the idea of, you know, finding treasures and stuff that nobody else has seen. And so he went off with them, and they were going to find some like ancient ruin in the swamp. And because apparently on this particular like day is the only day you're going to be able to find it or something. So, well, not on that day, but he said that they had to be there by a certain day or else they'll miss out entirely. And so he had left with like about 4 other people, and about 3 or 4 days later, after he left, he returned like hollow-eyed and like terrified and just like yeah, not the same dude that left. And he says that his that he that actually you don't really know what he said because he hasn't really talked about it. I'm gonna just do that. So,
But I know where he's at.
Oh yeah, he's
He's probably in the opium dens.
yeah, most likely either
Just
the
keeping
opening
wigged
or
out.
Yep, staying wigged
I
out,
mean,
either really drunk or really.
Maybe down at the Falling
Yeah.
Star every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as we're walking down the street, Mandarin, Drake Mandarin. He's shorter than you and I. Very built man, big arms, very, very into the action of the moment. And not easy to work with somebody who wants to jump out into action before action even starts. It's very hard to work with him. It was very, very annoying. I ran caravans with him sometimes and spent a good bit of time watching over his injuries because of his arrogance and inability to wait for things to happen. And that was his problem, I think. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know that he went into the swamp some time ago, and he hasn't had enough time like I have to learn to live with the things that have happened to him. And so he is a damaged man who,
Yeah.
like myself...
I'm sorry. It's actually, I do have to. It's been a lot longer than usual. You knew him when you were a young man just here. Just, that's all I wanted to say.
So that was been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So I will, it's been a long time. Kisbet that in somewhere
Yeah, sorry.
at the beginning. But He has learned to deal with his problems the same way I have, through alcohol and opium. He forgets the things that he has seen. He went off into desert or swamp or someplace to see something that only appears once in a great while. Some crap like that. Got up with a group of people, dungeon delvers looking for lost treasure. Got gold and gemstones in his eyes and his mind. Would not let go. And he left caravan for it, came back a broken man. I'm going to... Emmett will put a hand out and stop you in mid-street. Turn you slightly and say, we need to head for waterfront. We need to head to opium dens toward Falling Star. We need to head to where the poor people live, where the people are struggling. He's a broken man. So...
Let's stop by my place first, and I'll get out of this tabard.
This sounds like a good deal. Oh, and if I happen to beat up any children while we were down there, you saw nothing.
I must have had something in my eye.
I just smile. Damn children.
Always getting in the way.
Yes.
Alright. So yeah, so we hurry over to my place so I can change and...
I tell him anything I can think of Mandarin. Like, he's a short, stocky man. He had little to no hair. Mostly bald.
I think that Ross didn't know the same. Realize it was a different person.
No, Roz
Roz-
is, in her mind, he was an uber attractive. I mean, seriously. Even though he's short, squat, and bald-headed, she saw her
gnarly
Casanova. I don't talk about other people's teeth. I mean, that's rude.
So, I think that because of the technical difficulties we had earlier, I don't think we'll really be able to get through that part yet. So we might have to do that part next time, which I'm sad
Okay.
about because I was really excited. I even wrote stuff down.
That's fine. I'm all eager for the chance to hook up with old companions and meet somebody else who has PTSD.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get there, maybe even hit a little opium while we're in the den. But I don't go for that stuff too much. I walk away from it after I get a little bit going. My hindrance is tobacco and alcohol.
So yeah, so you all are gathering news of things. We will start next game session with figuring out why you don't really talk about Cyrus in the open, and then figure out where Madron is so you can find him. See if he knows anything. See if he's even alive still.
Well, if he's not alive, there's probably somebody who does know of him, or at least can get us into hands and talk to him, because that's one of the things that people do is talk. So at some point, we're going to find somebody who's at least heard his stories. And we have one of the most powerful superpowers in the game.
Yeah.
Money.
Yep. Money. Which, by the way, John, you would have received at least, let's see, you would have received at least 300 gold in a purse too, for starters.
Okay.
That's not just for you, that's for, like, the group.
Right.
As like a finder's fee for finding the group and getting everyone together, and then there'll be more gold to follow, because this is a big deal. If the city is in that much danger, then money's worth it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
so yeah, that's what we got next game session. I'm hoping that we'll really get the adventure going. I'm really excited about the directions you guys went to find information. I thought it was really cool. And
I also liked Yashir's 14-year-old girl crushed on Captain Hellstrom.
Senpai noticed me.
And so yeah, so we will end tonight's game session. For everyone who decided to hang out with us and stick with us through our technical difficulties, we appreciate it, and we will be back in a month for another round of Iron Kingdoms. Until then, goodbye. Oh wait, we have Shadowrun next week, right?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
believe
big
so.
rolls next week.
We shall check the website because we have a website, guys. Originalboxset.com is our website, and it has our calendar of when our games are going to be. So even if we don't know when our games are, you can know where our games are. And we will have Shadowrun in 2 weeks on the 20th. That's what we got.
Bridge World is a private game, so we don't broadcast that one.
Yes. So, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.